Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Yharnam. Welcome back to the village of Yargul and the College of Mensis. These are the latter chapters of Bloodborne, the main game anyway. Look at this. These are all the scholars and students of Mensis, and this is what's been done to them, or what they've done to themselves in order to facilitate the ritual. All of them have been reduced to nothing. They've been sucked dry, and if we touch this guy, we are drawn into the nightmare that they created. That was what they were trying to do. They are trying to recreate the sciences, the arcane sciences of Byrgenwerth, by creating a synthetic nightmare. A level of dreaming, which is a realm of existence in Bloodborne's metaphysics. The dreams and nightmares are effectively other realities or other dimensions where the Great Ones operate, and the College of Mensis were trying to transcend this particular level of dreaming to reach another one, and perhaps even transcend their own humanity in the same way that we're trying to do as a hunter. And they kind of succeeded. They did succeed in creating this sort of fractured nightmare-scape. Thank you! And now he's vomiting on me. Nice. Although this is what's become of the various scholars. Not many of them have survived. Not many of them have survived intact. As is generally the way in Bloodborne. You know, those who seek out transcendence or some other state of operation often end up becoming monsters or abominations. There's the other lecture hall down there. Remember from the Nightmare Frontier? It's down there. This is the other level of it. Look, there's hundreds of them down there. We remember when we fought them? Before we went and did the Nightmare Frontier, and we fought Amygdala. This is kind of a similar level of the Nightmare. Not quite the same. It's not quite the same. Hang on, there's a missive here. Master Willem was right. Evolution without courage will be the ruin of our race. Okay. Okie dokie. Master Willem, of course, we've also already met and killed. We met him at Byrgenwerth. I've got a coffee, by the way. Just before we fought Rom, the vacuous spider. He told us about the Moonlight Lake, if you remember. Sort of. Hunt the Great Ones, hunt the Great Ones. You see, they were close! They were close! They knew what had to be done. They just didn't quite make it. For whatever reason. Or maybe just couldn't. Maybe they couldn't. Oh, yeah, I remember this. There's a church giant over there, a unique one that you don't find anywhere else in the game. It's a very, very tough one as well. It's unarmed, and it has big flaming fists. It's very, very tough, which is why I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to draw it over here and then hit it through these doors. It's the best way of killing it. Aha! Okay, right. There's another missive over here. What's this? The nameless moon presence beckoned by Lawrence and his associates, Pale Blood. You see, it's all very vague and figurative. The way what little text exists in the game refers to the background. If you look down there, there's actually like infant Great Ones in cages and things. 3/3 chords. Now that is a really oblique reference to what you have to do to get the best ending in the game, which is find the 3/3 of the umbilical cord and devour them. That will allow you to transcend the hunt. Here he comes! He's much more aggressive than all the others, and he's very tough. He can kill you very, very quickly. I like to think this was a church warden that got drawn into the nightmare by accident and has kind of gone mad as a result, because it's disconnected from the church and from its saints like Vicar Amelia. It certainly seems that way. It's definitely nastier than the others. It's way more aggressive. Look. and also tougher as well. I mean, this thing can really do you damage. It can kill you really quickly, actually. One good combo and it'll kill you. Which is ironic, given that it's unarmed, so to speak. But yeah, the Nightmare of Mensis, it's this fractious condition that's only just held in place by the rituals that the scholars of Mensis wove around it. And they did succeed. There are great ones here. They did manage in calling down and binding great ones into physical forms here, or at least binding them in place. There's a couple, actually. There's a couple here. There aren't just one. There's a couple. One of them may in fact be like, you know, the one reborn, which we fought to get here at the end of Yargul. It may be synthetic in the way that that one is. It's hard to say, to be honest. It's all very, very difficult to say. There's no certainty here. You interpret the story, you infer it, which I love, I've got to say. I think that's just magnificent. It's my kind of storytelling. I mean, anyone who's read my stuff knows there's a lot of implication and inference in my storytelling. It's not for everyone, you know. A lot of people really hate it. I mean, you know, they've told me so, you know, they're quite vocal about it. It's not for everyone. I personally really love that kind of storytelling. It's very hard to do, though. It's very hard to get right. Hello! Oh my god, it's Patches! In his big fat spidery body. Look at him scampering around.
This cannot be. You cannot be.
What do you mean, man?
No, you didn't.
I did.
Lord Amygdala?
Uh-huh.
How did this come to pass?
I hit him really hard in the face a couple of times.
Now, wait just a moment. Do you think ill of me?
Mm-hmm.
Me?
Oh, yeah. Of course I think ill of you. No, I'm going to say no.
I think not. I shared with you a thing most secret. Now you're witness to a miracle, and all the stronger for it.
He's a weird character, Patches is.
Appreciate it if you've a grain of gratitude in you. Appreciate it.
Okie dokie. In this mythology, because he occurs in Dark Souls as well, Patches does. He's in every Dark Souls game in a different incarnation.
We're fast friends by now. Let this express what words cannot.
And he always...
No, not, sweet compeer.
Sweet compeer, okay.
What is friendship but a chance encounter?
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Well met. My apologies, but I feel a profound thought occurring.
Do you now? That must
On
hurt.
the good grace of a certain god, and the way he meted out his love.
Yeah, he considers Amygdala a god and worships it, and this seems to be the fate of those who worship Amygdala.
My apologies.
They become nightmares,
On the good
effectively.
grace of a-
Yeah, he's a very ambiguous character, Patches, although what he does seems to be negative. From his perspective, it's not. He's introducing you to what he considers to be divinity and making you stronger for it. He's a weird character in this one, and actually he's the same in a lot of the other games as well. He's massively ambiguous. You don't know whether he is genuinely trying to help you or whether he's fucking you over and then trying to justify it somehow. He's got the best story arc in Dark Souls 3, actually. He's a really significant character in Dark Souls 3. Look at this. As you remember from before, all the scholars, all the souls that went into making the Nightmare of Mensis are bound into it as part of it. It's essentially a synthetic reality that's created from the minds and rituals and horrors that the scholars of Mensis imagined and conducted. It's brilliant. I love, as a horror concept, it's gorgeous. It's very Lovecraftian. I mean, it's very Lovecraftian. There it is. That's what we're trying to reach, that structure up there. The Loran Dark Beasts are everywhere here. It's hard to tell whether they come from here. Oh yeah, they're also infested with these things, which is nice. In order to stop those from coming out, you need to kill them with visceral attacks or with fire, essentially. It's hard to tell whether the Loran Dark Beasts come from here or whether they come from some other state of being. Oops, Scrabbly! Cool! Bloodstone chunk. Delicious. Look at that. But you can actually see from certain areas here, you can actually see the other layers of dreaming. Ah! Now we need to be really careful. Did you see that glow up in the tower? There is something really horrible staring down at us. You see that light? And as it stares down upon us, it is causing frenzy. It is actually destroying our sanity. So you need to move. You need to move from safe space to safe space, blocking out its line of sight. The only good thing is it also affects the enemies. So, yeah. One of the best things you can do at this point is just run. We will get a reckoning with it. That thing, what's causing all of that, we will get to encounter it, if not fight it. We will certainly get to learn what it is. And what it is nothing short of horrific, as you may have guessed. No real surprise there, of course. This area, when you first come to it, when you don't know what's going on, is really bloody hard, because you don't know what's causing the frenzy, you don't know how to get away from it. So it's really difficult. You've also got these creatures here, as we found in the Nightmare Frontier, these creatures that are called Nightmare Children. I do like to think that they are actually children who are either used or drawn into the nightmare itself and became these wretched things. It's a horrible thought, really, isn't it? But then again, this is a horrible, horrible game, so, you know. Ow! Oh, one of them threw a bloody rock at me. God damn it. That one up there, presumably. Yeah, I know. Right, hang on. I'll get right back here. There we are. Just to save you from watching me run through that entire area again. Look at the scars on their backs. The implied storytelling is incredible. Maybe they were children from Yharnam and Yargul that were used in the ritual that created this nightmare. Who knows? Who knows, eh? It's all very hard to say. Everything's implied. Every single thing is implied. But the wealth of storytelling here, you could use this game and its imagery as a basis for storytelling and never run out of ideas. You could make a career out of it. You really could. It's incredible. Which is ironic, really, because, I mean, Bloodborne, it like Dark Souls, it wears its influences on its sleeve. There are loads of influences from other sources here. Junji Ito, who died recently, by the way, whose work is absolutely incredible. Berserk is a massive influence, the manga and anime, Berserk. Lovecraft, obviously. Steampunk, you know, there's a massive steampunk influence here. Things like Hellsing, clearly, you know. I mean, my hunter looks like Hellsing at this point, doesn't he? He looks just like him. Which is a rather lovely look, I've got to say. Oh, this area. This is not nice. Oh, look at him. Look, that is such beautiful framing, isn't it? And you know what's going to happen. Of course they're going to descend. Of course they are. Nightmare apostles, and one really... Oh, that's horrible. One really, really big nightmare apostle. Here they come. Don't fight them in there. Bottleneck them. This whole area is designed for it, so bottleneck them. Kill them like this. It's so much easier. It just works, you know. I love these nightmare apostles. The spiders, they're so horrible. Ugh. So vile. Look at the big one. Ah! He's really tough, this guy. you can chintz him very easily by going to the lower right of the staircase there and just hitting him through the wall. He's casting a spell. Look, he's casting a dark spell. How cool is that? I love the motion. I love the motion when he casts the spell. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right. There's a couple more to kill. Then I'm going to kill the bell-ringing woman because I don't want any players invading and killing me. Right, you. Pack that in, you. Goodbye. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, that will just stop other players invading me. This one's really weird. It's completely passive. If you don't hit it, it just stays up there. I, of course, am going to hit it. So, there we are. There's two others here, too. Ugh, horrible things. The Nightmare Apostles. They seem to be byproducts of the nightmares. Like creatures that naturally coalesce whenever a nightmare is created. Which is a brilliant concept, really. Oh, yeah, there is a hunter up here. Shaman Boneblade. That's an interesting item. If you hit enemies with it, they start fighting the other enemies. This guy is one of the scholars of Mensis that was left. You see the eyes in the webs that resemble spider eggs. Oh, there's Murgo. Murgo is one of... Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? Murgo is one of the great ones that is here. Oh, you bastard. He's quite tough. He's got... Oh! Well, that went well, didn't it? He's got Ludwig's Holy Blade, and also, yeah, you just love... You celebrate in your victory there. There we are. I've just got back to where we were. He's also got a lot of arcane stuff, as you'd imagine, for a Scholar of Mensis. A lot of arcane stuff, so you've got to be quite careful with him. Murgo is, I would say, the chief Great One who is holding this nightmare together. He's the one through which the surviving scholars hope to achieve their own transcendence, I suppose. Oh, he did it too, and he actually hit me, so that went well. Yeah, so two arcane hunters in a one-on-one match. This is going to be interesting. I definitely have the superior blade. He's got Ludwig's Holy Blade. I've got Ludwig's Moonlight Sword, which is way better. And mine's like upgraded to the 9s, I can tell you. Oh, he's put it into its big mode. Not that it matters. He's gone. That's the end of him, and he just leaves you some sedatives. I suppose he'd need them in this place. Any of the scholars that were left alive and not subsumed into the nightmare itself, it must be difficult for them holding on to their sanity in this place. Okay, I just love it. I love the way the Scholar's Nightmare has coalesced as this. A place that is kind of academic. It's like a great university or museum. It's very cool. It's a very cool notion. And essentially the ones that are left alive, including the one that led the ritual, a guy called Mikolash, they are trying to make contact with the Great Ones. Particularly Kos, Mother Kos, who is kind of like... She is the Tiamat to Erden's Apsu, if you like. Erden is the great male god, the god of the moon, in this mythology. Whereas Tiamat, Kos is the mother god, or the mother goddess. Which is very, very cool. And she does exist. She is actually out there. But they are making a mistake calling to her. You'll see for why when we do the Hunter's Nightmare. And the Hunter's Nightmare is one of the nastiest areas in the game. The Hunter's Nightmare is the yeah, look at that. Can you see it? The glow from up there? It's so cool. That's what was causing the frenzy down below. But we will put a stop to that at some point relatively soon, so we shall. So we shall indeed. Yeah, we'll actually find Mother Kos in the Hunter's Nightmare. The Hunter's Nightmare is the DLC for this game, and it's an example of how you do DLC really well. It basically it enhances the mythology massively. It tells you, or shows you rather, so much that's implied in the main game. You get to learn a lot more about what the Healing Church were doing when they created blood ministration. The stuff that the church, and certainly that Byrgenwerth, would rather you didn't know. That's kind of the point of the Hunter's Nightmare. It's a place, it's a state of dreaming that was created as a curse upon the Hunters of Byrgenwerth and of the Healing Church for what they did, for the horrors that they wrought whilst they were trying to achieve transcendence. And believe me, the horrors they wrought are beyond anything you can imagine. It's repulsive. As a result, though, there are loads of hunters there that are trying to protect those secrets, to keep you from reaching them, because they don't want anyone to know. They don't want anyone to know how disgraceful the church, and indeed Byrgenwerth, actually are. It's beyond anything you can imagine, actually. You'll see when we get there. The stuff that they did in order to learn about this metaphysics, or to contain it and control it, are hideous. Absolutely god-awful hideous. And interestingly, that's where the Lovecraft references become basically overt. There's an area in the Hunter's Nightmare that is effectively directly from the pages of Lovecraft. Like, it's so overt that you can't miss it. These little guys are interesting. They're called Murgo's Attendants. So these guys may in fact be born of Murgo. They may have been created by him. The infant Great One that was torn from the belly of Yharnam. Queen Yharnam. The city of Yharnam is named after. The Thumerian Queen, who we've met before, if you remember. When we defeated Rom, we saw a spectre of her on the Moonlight Lake as the moon shifted into its next phase. This whole game effectively is her trying to reclaim her lost child, to free Murgo from this hideous, hideous nightmare. And that's what we're going to do. There we go. We are actually going to free Murgo, and the way you do it is by destroying him. As is often the case with the Great Ones, you're trying, when you destroy the Great Ones, you're not killing them. You're just destroying their physical forms, and often what's binding them to whatever state of operation they are in. At their most pure, the Great Ones are formless. Like Erden. I mean, Erden is often called, when you find the text on him, he's called Formless Erden. And the same is true of Murgo. Murgo doesn't have any fixed form. Oh, can you see them? It's a dog-headed crow. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, forms and creatures which are drawn from the real world or inspired by it, but twisted. And that is a crow-headed dog. It's almost parodic, you know, in a very grim and grisly way. Okay, there's quite a lot of them as well. I mean, I think this is fantastic. I love the notion that in this reality, it's possible to create or cobble together synthetic realms of being. These tiny, fractured pocket dimensions where you're neither awake nor dreaming, you're neither dead nor alive, you're sort of teetering on the brink of some other state, some other state of being. I frigging love that notion. And that via that you can effectively transcend your born parameters. You can become something other or something else. I just, that does it for me. That tickles me pink, that does. That's the kind of thing that's always attracted me to any kind of mythology. I'll spare you me going back to Hunter's Dream to level up, by the way, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just going back to Hunter's Dream to level up, so I'll spare you that. And we'll just get right back to the game, yeah? There's nothing going on in Hunter's Dream at the moment. There will be relatively soon. Also, the name Mensis, I mean, that relates to the themes of the entire game. You know, the sort of natal themes. It's Mensis as in menses, blood-born. We are all born in blood, you know? The birth and natal imagery in this game informs everything. Every element of it. I mean, I know I keep saying it, that I would love to see a sequel or a spin-off, and I really would love to see another game in this mythology, like, God, I would love to. But, that said, if they don't, if this is all they want to create for Bloodborne, it's fine. It's fine, because it's so good. It's so comprehensive, it's so brilliant. I wouldn't want to... Oh, look at these things. These are puppet entities, sort of corpses that are animated by the will of another being. A being we're going to meet in a moment. Mikolash, the host of the nightmare. He's essentially, you know, the mummy in the College of Mensis that we touched to reach the nightmare. It's him. He is one of the few remaining scholars of Mensis who is still kind of coherent.
Kosm. Or some say Kosm.
Indeed.
Do you hear our prayers?
Do you hear our prayers? Love the voice acting.
No, we shall not abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
I love how theatrical he is. I mean, I'm not surprised that he's balmy, really. I mean, you don't know how long he has been sealed in this nightmare from his own perspectives. It could be literally centuries, millennia even. But I like to think these puppet things are actually the remains of his scholars that he's animating. Oh, he's running right to it. That's really cool. Normally, he takes a while to reach this room. He leads you a bit of a... Oh, you bastard! He's got a lot of arcane... Oh, God! Basically, he's one of the more powerful arcane users in the game, alongside the likes of Marta Logarius and Ibrietas. He's got a lot of arcane chicanery going on. Kill these things first, otherwise he's going to be a pain. He's a pain anyway, is Mikolash. He's a very tough enemy. Despite looking basically human, he's a pain. But yeah, you've got to give it to him. He's remained remarkably coherent for someone who is operating as he does. He hasn't, like, degenerated or mutated or anything like that. So that must mean that he does have some strength of purpose. I mean, even Marta Logarius had swollen into something vile. So he must have some strength of will, this guy. Even if he is basically balmy. Which he is. Then again, what does sanity mean? He's not dead, by the way. Of course he isn't. Do you think it'd be that easy?
Oh, majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast. Nightmare swirls and churns unending.
I love Mikolash. If there is such a thing as an antagonist in this game, it's probably him. I mean, he's the one who led the rituals of Mensis. He's the one who created this nightmare. He's the one who tore Murgo from his birth mother and sealed him here in this nightmare. That's interesting. As you once did for the vacuous Rom. He's talking to Kos, by the way, Kosm, the goddess of the cosmos, who is the mother of Rom and so many others of the Great Ones. What does that mean, I wonder? As you once did for the vacuous Rom, grant us eyes. So he's calling out to Kosm, to Kos, and trying to entreat her to grant him sight, transcendence, vision. It's very interesting. Very interesting. But like all the others, he's trying to force her hand. And that seems to be where they go wrong. If you try to force that transcendence out of the Great Ones, you end up with atrocity. You end up with abomination. It's if you follow your own path and your own route through the trials and cycles of dreaming, that's when you end up transcending. And it seems that Rom did that. It seems that Rom was a creature that went through that process and ended up becoming a Great One. As we do.
Some say
there aren't actually many legitimate Great Ones in the game. There aren't many at all. Amygdala is one. Rom is one. Kos is in it, so she kind of counts. The one reborn is not really. It's a synthetic Great One. It's kind of an attempt by the cults of Yargul to create one. So whether that counts, I don't really know. It's kind of a failed experiment, you know? There is a... Murgo is one. Murgo is a genuine Great One. There is another one as well at the end of the Hunter's Nightmare, but even that is problematic. It's abortive, effectively. So... Right, this is difficult. You've got to chase the bastard through this labyrinth, avoiding all the horrors as you do so, and you've got to trap him in a particular room. Meanwhile, he's going to be leaping... the iron door key. He's going to be leaping through these mirrors. So, he's tough, this guy. There is... I'm going to basically chintz him a little bit. I never fight Mikolash fairly, because he gets on my nerves. He's actually really tough, Mikolash. So I'm basically gonna lure him into an area where I can blat him with long-range weaponry and do him like that. It's much easier. It's much easier. I want him to fall down there, down that pit there, but it takes some doing. Because he keeps leaping through the bloody mirrors. He's a pain. You've got to basically chase him down. Is he here? If he's down there, then I can do it. Let's see. Is he there? Yeah. Is he down there? I can't quite see. No, I don't think he is. There he is again, as you did for the vacuous Ram. I love that. It's just a throwaway line that has so much import with regards to the background. There he is. Okay, right. I can blat him from up here with lots of long-range stuff, basically. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Because it's just easier, basically, than trying to kill him legitimately. Now he gets caught in an animation loop, which is quite problematic. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, tits. Where'd he go? I've got to chase him back down. Hang on. Okie dokie, hang on. Oh, shut up, you. It's basically like he's playing with you. You know, you are basically an intruder in his realm. Whoa! Bloody hell. Ow! God damn it. Okay. God, my hunter looks really swag at the moment, I've got to say. He looks great. I want an outfit like that. Okay, where is he? Is he down here? Can't quite see. Where the hell is he? He's teleported somewhere. This is what makes this boss hard, really. It's the fact that he's all over the place. He's very hard to pin down. And this labyrinth, because of the mist and everything, it all looks pretty much the same. So it's hard to find him. It's hard to see where he's run off to. It kind of fits though. It's a really, throughout this game, there he is. The designers are just trying new stuff all the time. There he is. Hey Mikolash, come here. Where'd he go? Where'd he bugger off to? It's just one wild experiment after another. I mean, some are more successful than others. I mean, yeah, this can be problematic. This particular... Oh, he's going to jump through the mirror. Okay. This particular style of boss. But I love the fact that they are trying different things. I really love that. Where's he going? Ah, this is what we want. He'll run down there now. And we should be able to catch him in an animation loop. Okay, right, you. Stay there. Yeah, got him. There we are. Okay. So, all being well... Look, he's caught now in this weird loop. It's essentially a glitch that you can exploit massively. If you're of a mind. And I am of a mind, basically. It can be a bit dull, but it's better than fighting him fairly, believe me. Because fighting him fairly is a nightmare. He's got abilities that can kill you in one hit. Especially if you are vulnerable to arcane damage, which I am, by the way. Look at him running around. You just whittle him down. Just keep whittling him down. With whatever long-range items you've got. That's basically it. Just pack yourself out with as many long-range or thrown items that you can. Arcane stuff. Certain guns are good against him, like the church cannon, for example. If you can wield it, really good against him. It's better than fighting him fairly, believe me. Because fighting him fairly is a nightmare. Ironically. Just be careful, because some of these items, like the Molotovs, will carry you over the edge. And then you're going to have to fight him fairly anyway. Look at him looking around, he doesn't know what to do. A lot of people exploit this particular glitch. Because it's just easier. He's so cheap when you fight him fairly anyway, so... You know, I don't feel any particular guilt for it. Right, he's run into the big room now. Ow! Okay. So that's the big room where you're supposed to fight him, basically. There's a way in from the ceiling. Okay, so where is it? That's... I don't think this is it, no. That's the entrance to the room he was in. It's very out of the way, so trying to find where you need to be is really, really hard. This is it. It's here. Right. He'll be down here now. The Cosmos. Ha! We hit him before he could finish his little speech. There he is, running about. What's he doing? I don't think I can hit him from here. So we're going to have to go down and fight him, I think. God damn it. Oh, no, not this. Oh, that attack. Swine. Evil swine. Worry ye not, I won't make you sit through all that again. We'll get back to that point and blat him, okay? That's why you don't fight him fairly. He can kill you in a couple of attacks, maximum. This is how you kill him. Now, I'm going to use my arcane attacks. The Black Sky Eye is very good. Most of the time, if you were playing a normal game, you wouldn't have it by this point. Because you get the Black Sky Eye from the Hunter's Nightmare. A very particular area of the Hunter's Nightmare at that. It's a brilliant weapon. Probably one of the best long-range weapons in the game. It does so much arcane damage, it's unbelievable. Especially if you have a high arcane statistic. Which actually I don't, but even so, it's pretty good. There we go. As long as you can balance your blood vials against your silver bullets, you'll be fine. What else have we got that we can bring to bear? Yeah, use some poison knives, why not? That's lovely. He's caught in that weird animation loop again, look. Not that it's doing him much good. He's nearly dead. We've nearly got him, my loves. I do like Mikolash, he's very cool. I appreciate villains or antagonists like him. I really do. I mean, what does villainy even mean in this universe? I mean, at least he was trying something, you know? To escape the horrific state of being in which Yharnam persists. I'm kind of with him, you know? In this universe, I'd be trying something similar, I'll be honest, because it's there. The possibility for transcendence to other states of being is there. It's very, very, very real. And weighed against that, you have to wonder what sacrifice is too much, you know? And Mikolash is one of those people who's obviously sacrificed everything. Everything. Including his own state of mind and state of being. Now listen when he dies, listen what he says. It's very significant. You see? He's not dead. He's not dead. He's woken up. We've got the Mensis cage, which we can wear. He's not dead. Like most of the human characters that you fight in this game, they don't die. They wake up. They start a new round of dreaming. So Mikolash effectively will go back to the beginning of whatever his particular path is. And he will start it over again. Until he can complete what it is he's supposed to do. That's what it's about. And it's different for everyone. No one's is the same. You know? Everyone has a different purpose. Everyone has a different path to follow. This just happens to be ours. And ours conflicts with Mikolash's, so he's got to go. He's got to wake up. I'll forget everything. It's brilliant. There is one of the endings where if you choose it, that's what happens to you. You wake up and you forget. You forget the dream, you forget the nightmare. You wake up to another dawn. And to the beginning of another dream. It's kind of brilliant. I love it. I really, really love it. The metaphysics of this game is... yeah, it does it for me. It's the kind of metaphysics that I want to be true. So I've got to be careful of it, you know? Okay, I think I've got everything from down here. Now we need to go to the second part of Murgo's loft. I do believe. Now, what do we need? What do we need? I can unlock the iron door now as well, which is somewhere on the right down here. It's very hard to find, as is the key itself. It's very out of the way, and it's kind of a secret area. If you don't know it's there, I don't even know how you'd find it. Here it is. I don't even know how you'd think to look for it. Now, we want to be really careful out here, because that thing that's causing the frenzy, we can see it from here. It's over there. See it? Ooh, you can only get a glimpse of it from here. The big, big brain. Effectively, it's called the Brain of Mensis. It's a great one. And it is it seems to be the progenitor of the Winter Lanterns. It's a similar entity as the Winter Lanterns. And it has the same effect, so it seems to be what creates them. Like the mother of them all, if you like. The mother brain. To wax Metroid for a moment. That's one of the great ones that we will be encountering. Interestingly, barring that effect where it induces frenzy, it's entirely passive. It has no physical attacks at all. Very interesting creature, indeed. But yeah, we'll be meeting that shortly. Worry ye not. It's also probably the most malformed and hideous of the great ones, and that's going some way, is it not? Like I said, it looks to be, when you meet it, it looks to be one of the synthetic ones. Maybe created by Mikolash and the scholars for this place. During the ritual that brought it into being. Now Mikolash is gone, there's hardly anything holding the nightmare in place. The only thing that is holding it in place is Murgo. And here's that bridge that we raised, so now we can cross to the second part of the Nightmare of Mensis. It's very cool. Love the structure of this game. Bloody hell, yeah, I'd better go and sort my blood echoes out. We'll be back when I've done that. I'm not going to put you through that, obviously. Okay, so... oh, before we do that, there's something I've got to do here. There's a little... remember this?
You haven't by any chance seen my little sister, have you? I told her to look after the house. But she's run off somewhere. She's still quite small. And wears a big white ribbon. Have you seen her out there anywhere?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh. Okay then. But if you do
but I will.
Would you give me word?
Oh yeah.
She's a small girl with a big white ribbon.
Oh, I know.
My good little sister.
Ah, dear me. So, the little sister that she's speaking about has basically gone in search of her mum and dad. It's the one we spoke to before, and of course we know that the mum and dad are dead because we killed one of them. We killed. What's that over there? Is that an item? What's that? That's weird. Or is it just a lantern? That's kind of weird because you can't get back there. Very strange. Yeah, I happen to know where the little girl has gone and what's happened to her. It's not nice. What else do you expect? There isn't anything nice in this game. It's all horrible. Okay. There we are. Okay, so once we've dealt with these guys... it's so gross and horrible. Everything in this game is utterly tragic. There's nothing good that comes of it. Of anything you do, really. Okay. Let's deal with the Piggly here. Okay, so the reason we've come here to deal with the pig is there's something inside of it. There's something inside of it. Oh, what be that? The red messenger ribbon. If you look at it, it's a blood-stained white ribbon. The implication being that the little girl somehow managed to wander down here and got herself eaten by the pig. Nice, eh? Innocence is no protection in this game, I'm telling you. There's something almost fairy tale about that fate, isn't there? It's like a cautionary German or Russian folk tale. They tend to be unpleasant. Anyone who's read The Brothers Grimm can attest to that. Which I have many times, because I bloody love those stories, I can tell you. Some of my favourites, some of my absolute favourites. So, we can now go to the other little girl and tell her that her sister is dead, along with the rest of her family. Yay! Good times. Okay.
Oh. Back again.
She sounds a bit disappointed.
Any news of my sister?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. How did this happen? Why would she ever go outside?
Oh dear.
At least I'll have something to remember her by.
At least, I suppose. Well, that's sad.
What a perfect ribbon.
Oh no.
And now it's mine. I can't wait to try it on.
It's basically, the implication is she's gone mad.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, nice. And believe it or not, it gets worse. That is not the end of this particular story arc. Right, we're now at Yosefska's clinic. I've just come here because there's something else that I need to do before we move on. There's Yosefska. That's what's become of her. That's what's been made of the original Yosefska. Now I need to go and seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. Yeah, they're not wrong. Now I need to go and deal with the imposter Yosefska. Who's this? These are the creatures that the characters we sent here became these things. So which one's this, I wonder? That one gave me Madman's Knowledge. I think that one is... You know the man who contradicts everything? That was him. Look, this is what she was doing, the imposter, luring people here and conducting experiments on them to turn them into kin. She's one of the more radical members of the Healing Church, and she's seeking her own agenda at this point, it seems. Her own transcendence. So weird. So friggin' weird. Who's this one? This may be, you remember the guy, Pungent Blood Cocktail? I think that's the guy, you know the guy we met out in the Forbidden Woods who was eating people? Who, if you fight him, becomes a massive beast? That was him. Right, let's go and see Yosefska, or rather the imposter Yosefska, and see what's up with her. It's all very unpleasant. If you come here before this phase of the moon, you've got a fighter. However, under this phase of the moon, this has happened to her.
God, I'm nauseous. Have you felt this? It's progressing. I can see things.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. I'm different. I'm no beast. Oh, God, it feels awful. But it proves that I'm chosen.
Yeah.
Don't you see how they writhe inside my head?
Nice.
It's rather rapturous.
I'll bet. I'll bet. Well, my loves, let's deal with her. And for this particular act, we receive the last, well, not the last, but one of the thirds of the umbilical cords. And you only get it if you do this, unfortunately. When we come back, my loves, more mysteries. Until then, bye-bye.